Hey there, all you Habs fans, and welcome to Talking Habs with Rick. In this video, I'll give you my top 10 list of YouTube videos every hockey fan should see, in my opinion. I'll also leave a link in the description below to all the videos. And in the case of there's a few multi-part ones, I'll just leave the link for the first part, and YouTube usually will leave the following part up in the list on the side. Okay, so let's get started. So for number 10, I already wrote it out. It's a video called NHL Expansion Documentary. A bit of a strange name for a video, but it's good. If you want to know how the NHL went from the original 4 teams that it started out with way back, I think the original 6, that's a fallacy. There were 4 teams to start, they went to 10, and then back down to 6, and that's how the 6 came about. So this is a 44-minute documentary detailing the expansion of the NHL from the 4-team league right up to the Minnesota Wild and Columbus Blue Jackets. I believe they came in, at the same time. It doesn't go past that, but it was interesting to watch, and you get to get a little, history of how the NHL came to be the way it is today. Okay, so number 9. Sorry that I have to do it this way. So this is something called the NHL's Greatest Moments. Trying to speed it up a little bit. NHL's Greatest Moments. So this is a 77-minute documentary featuring some of the NHL's most memorable moments, games, individual accomplishments, and innovations. It was interesting. It went from things like Jacques Plante's the first time he wore the mask and how that came about. Individual performances. I didn't write too many down. So, anyways, it was really entertaining, and it's a little over an hour. It's not so bad to waste. Good wasting of time, especially if you're a hockey fan and you want to learn a little bit more, about things about the NHL, trivia mostly. Okay, so number 8. This one's a really long one. I'll start telling you a little bit about what it's about. Okay, so it's about the 1972 Summit Series between Canada and the USSR. I'll just put so it's called From Training Camp to Victory. The rest of the name is 1972 Canada-USSR Summit Series. So this is a 122-minute documentary about the greatest international tournament ever played. Definitely the first one, and I think the greatest one. I don't know, did my light go down? Seems like it's darker. Okay. Where was I? So anyways, this was that tournament in 72, the first time the Russians and the Canadians met, I guess outside the Olympics. I was 9 years old. I'll never forget this series. I remember that at the last game, I think it was tied even as far as games and everything. So the last game was like super big and important. Canada didn't want to lose to the Russians. We thought we'd step all over them, and it was way tougher than we thought. So I remember I was in grade, I'm going to say 3, 4, something like that. And it was in grade school, and for the game, they brought all the kids, and this is grade school, they brought all the kids to the gym. They put a big TV up on the stage, and we all watched the game, and that's how big it was. Even the kids in grade school were allowed to watch the game. Hey, listen, hockey in Canada is religion. There's no doubt about that. Okay, so number 7. Now, this one There's two on my list with kind of the same name, but they're two different. One's like a series of videos, and one is just a straight up video. Again, I'll give you partial name. So it's Legends of Hockey, and this one is Lord Stanley's Legacy, 1893 to 1924. So this is basically, so it's a 55-minute documentary about hockey's early days, filled with comments from the great names, even the great names of, well, more of my day. I don't know how far into today they get, but it's just about the beginning of hockey, and it was really interesting. So it doesn't give you that much information about, like I said, about the modern game. But if you ever wondered what it was like back in, like I said, in 1893 it starts out. So it's very interesting and worth the watch. So number 6. This one, for me, I guess, I guess everybody as a Habs fan, since Montreal's won the most cups, this one, there's a lot of players from our team. So it's called Names on the Cup. And this one is a 100-minute documentary featuring interviews with 70 legendary cup winners. And it's all about what it takes to be a cup winner. So it's basically, I'm not sure what year they did it, probably in the 90s, maybe early 2000s. And they took the players of the day and they interviewed them. So it's they are older looking, but they're telling stories about, their playing days and what it was like to be a champion and how hard you had to work and all that kind of stuff. Very interesting, very nostalgic for us old guys. Okay, number 5. Number 5 is kind of a long one. It's a multi-part series, but also very good. And very informative. I found anyway when I watched it. And I watched it not too long ago. So it's called Hockey, A People's History. So this is a 10-part series. They're about 45 minutes each episode, I think. About the history of the game. From the very beginning of the game, right up to the very recent history. It's long, but it's worth the time, I think. So you learn a lot. And it's about stuff... not only related to the NHL, but in hockey in general back then, and some interesting things that I'd never heard before. Okay, so number 4. Number 4 is a bit of a throw-in, and I'll tell you why. I had 2 different things in here that I didn't realize they were the same thing. And so last minute, I just threw in something that I liked, and I think it's about Gordie Howe, so I'll give that away. And yeah, since it's Gordie Howe, who I don't think was the best player ever to play the game. For me, that's Bobby Orr. But in a pinch, I threw this in because I was kind of prepared with it. So it's called Gordie Howe, Life of a Legend. It's not very long. It's 22 minutes. It's just a look at one of the 3 best players ever. So that's Gordie Howe, Wayne Gretzky, and to me, Bobby Orr. To me, Bobby Orr, best player ever to skate up, to lace up. He could do everything. So, okay, so that's number 4. Number 3. This one, I think, is very long. I'm going to tell you in a sec. It's not easy to write on a dry erase board and not erase things. I find that. And I apologize for the small board that I have. I will be getting a bigger one as soon as I can find one. 100 NHL's greatest players. Now, this is a 6.5-hour video. It's long. So it's a 6.5-hour look at the 100 greatest NHL players of all time. It's really long, but it's comprehensive. It's a comprehensive look at the best players to play the game, and they're short 3 to 6 minute, I'm going to say vignettes, kind of, about each of the 100 players. So your favorites of the day, There's a few from today. There's not that many, but you'll see players you recognize, and you'll learn something about them, so it's very interesting. Number 2. Hang on a sec. So this one is the other one with that same name. It's called Legends of Hockey. Nothing to add, except they're individual episodes. I'm not sure who did them. One of the sports stations at the time. About individual players. So it'll be Legends of Hockey. So we just said Gordie Howe. So it'll be Gordie Howe, Bobby Orr, whatever. They're very informative. You'll find your favorite player and learn about them. And learn about other players you heard their names and didn't know about. So it goes along kind of with the 100 NHL's greatest players. There might be some overlap, but, hey, a different look, a different view of it, and you'll learn different information. Okay, now this next one is a bit of an indulgence. And I know it's at number 1, and maybe that's not where to take indulgence, but if you're all Habs fans watching, I think you'll agree. Okay. So it's called Montreal Canadiens, 100 years, 100 stars. Now you know why I took the indulgence. It's about the Habs. So this is a 44-minute documentary, and it's about the best team ever, Montreal Canadiens. It's hosted by George Stroumboulopoulos. If I got that right. And he was just interviewing players and fans all about, the Montreal Canadiens. Is obviously, I think it's all Canadiens players, but it might be some of the players of the era. So it's a bit of history, fan love, and indulgence. So I'm indulging on this one, but it was fun to watch as a Habs fan. And I think if you're a Habs fan, and maybe I'll say a hockey fan in general, and a hockey fan who doesn't hate the Habs, you'll enjoy it. That's what I think. Okay, so there you have it. That's my look at YouTube videos you can easily find on YouTube about hockey. So let me know in the comments below what you think and what changes you would make to my list. I'm interested to know. I did not a full search, but I went through tons of videos to find these, so I don't know if there's more out there. So we'll see. Let me know. So please like and subscribe if you would. I appreciate that. And I hope you enjoyed my list. So remember, the links will be in the description. And I thank you for watching. So have a great day. And I'll see you next time right here on Talking Habs with Rick. Bye-bye now.